A lot of people love cauliflower cheese, including children, but did you know that actually you can make something just as delicious using fennel? That is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm only using one fennel, so quantity is obviously entirely up to you depending on how many people you're cooking for. I've just removed the brown parts using a knife, and I've washed it of course, and also remove the head. I will be using this also, so do not discard of it. I've gone to the bottom and removed just the brown part of the trunk over here, but do not remove the trunk like you might do if you were cleaning, for example, a cauliflower or a broccoli. So the next thing is to cut it before I cook it. So I'm going to cut it in half over here first, and then I'll turn it on the flat side, and I'm going to do little chunks. And that is why it is important that you do not remove the middle, because I'll show you in a moment. The middle effectively holds it all together like this. If you were to cut that off, obviously they will all come to pieces. Not the end of the world, but it will look better on your plate. So I'll do the same with the other half, just like this. With the stems, by the way, no need to throw them away, as I mentioned. I'm using a potato peeler over here to just remove the top layer of the skin. And the trunk, which is what you're going to be left with, similar to a cauliflower, is going to be really tasty and delicious, and also very nutritious. And if you got chickens or ducks, they're going to love you forever with this, or if not, just like us, put them in the compost bin. I'm moving everything inside the saucepan. I've got some cold water over here, so I will just top it up until I cover the finocchi. I want to call them cauliflowers. Water is boiling. I'll place the lid on, I'll turn it down, and I'll leave it to gently now simmer for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'll make a cheese sauce or béchamel sauce. So I'll start with 300 milliliters of semi-skimmed milk, and adding to that 30 grams of plain flour, a little salt and pepper, bay leaf, and also some nutmeg if you like it. If you don't put it in. And before I move to the hob, I'll mix everything together using a whisk. And don't be shy, be as assertive as you like whilst you're doing this, as the main objective is to remove all of the lumps from the flour. You can see that because the milk is cold, all of the flour is gone. And even if you've got the odd little lump left, don't worry, once we put it on the hob, they will soon disappear. And I'm turning the temperature on maximum, but I will continue whisking all the times until they start thickening it up. And there it is, as there is only a little amount of milk, it will soon reach the boil. So I'm turning it down now. I don't want to burn it, of course. And I'll mix it for another 20 seconds, after which I can turn it off, and I'll place the lid on, and I'll move it out of the heat, and I will leave it to cool down slightly. Lid will prevent the film from forming until I'm ready to put it together. Small onion, red, white, it doesn't really matter. I'm going for red as they are more colorful and sweeter, but ensure that you chop in little pieces. I'm going to add a little olive oil at the bottom of a saucepan, and I mixed in the onion, and I'll put it on the hob for about 5 minutes. I want the onion to have a little bit of a bite. And I'm ready to continue. First job, remember to remove the bay leaf from your cheese sauce, assuming you used it. So there it goes. Ensure that the fennels are well drained and they can be added to the cheese sauce. Here are my onions, and I'm going to add most of them, but I will keep about a quarter for later for the top. And I'll go ahead and mix everything together so that the cheese sauce amalgamates with all of my fennels and onion. And I've got here a little oven tray, big enough for the portion I'm cooking today, of course. And I'll start by adding everything inside it. I'm just tapping the top to ensure that it's nice and flat and smooth, and I can start adding some cheese. I'm using mature cheddar, by the way. I always use cheddar when I make cauliflower cheese, and I think it's a very good cheese for these sort of dishes because it's quite sharp. This is mature and salty, and I think it actually contrasts quite nicely the sweetness from the fennel and also the onion coming to that. And it melts beautifully, so why not? But use whatever you like. I think cheddar is a very popular cheese, so you cannot go wrong with cheddar if you like cheddar. So I just put enough to cover the surface, and I'll put another little piece here in the middle, just for luck. Nearly there, and this is a very Sicilian touch, as I'm going to gratinate my fennel. So just a little amount of breadcrumbs on top, as this will make the whole thing nice and crunchy. But if you don't want, don't add them. It's not essential, but if you do, add them because they're lovely. I did reserve a little onion, so I'm going to add this on top so that it will garnish the dish beautifully. And also I have sliced some pitted olives and a little tomato. Actually, these are 3 little plum tomatoes. So I'm going to add them on top, and they will provide a little bit of acidity. That is the tomatoes, which again will contrast quite nicely with the sweetness of the fennel, but also some colour, so why not? And likewise, I've also got here some olives, which I've sliced in about 2 or 3 millimeters, so they can go on top. And again, they will add beautiful colour to the dish, but also some added flavour. Apologies, my dishwasher is on and it's making lots of noises. Not ideal, but never mind. This is a kitchen. And before it goes in the oven, I'm going to add my own little secret ingredient, a little balsamic vinegar. Just a little, not a lot, on the top. Again, this is sweet, but also it's sour at the same time, if you see what I mean, as it is vinegar. And honestly, the balances that it provides is amazing. Just cover the entire surface, just beautiful. And it is ready to go in the oven. Mine is a fan-assisted oven, 180 degrees for 20 minutes. If you've got a normal conventional oven, up the temperature by 20 degrees to 200, same amount of time. I'll see you in about 20 to 25 minutes. And here it is, really hot though, still bubbling. So I'm not going to even attempt testing it yet. I'll just leave it for a few minutes, otherwise I'll burn my mouth. And then I'll test it and I'll tell you what it's like. Fennels are very popular in Italy, especially in the southern Italian regions like Sicily, Sardinia, Calabria. And often they are just eaten raw, washed, dried, and in a salad, just as a part of normal salad. And they're really nice, or just on their own. Very often at the end of the dinner, my mum and dad used to put fennel in the middle of the table in wedges, and we just help ourselves, and it is very refreshing. But done like this, of course, is different. And if you have never tried it before, I think give it at the very least one shot, as it is really nice. I'm going to be very careful though, because it's still really hot. So I'm just trying to get some, and then I'll tell you what the outcome is like. Very hot. Oh, it's delicious. Still a bit too hot to really appreciate it, but they are quite aniseedy in terms of taste, and the balance with everything else is beautiful, especially with the tomatoes and the olives. But the bechamel sauce obviously plays a big part, and the cheese and the cheddar. So if you make it, let me know, and let me know what you think. Different way of eating something rather than cauliflower. Thank you for watching. See you later. Ciao, ciao.